Peace and blessings. This is Queen Kenya coming to you live with another Soul Inspiration. Today is February 4th, 2018, and I am glad to be in your presence. This Soul Inspiration focus for today is going to be on spirituality versus religion. Give me 1 second. Yes, I am so blessed to be here today, and I'm not really feeling the glare that's on my face with these glasses. So you know what? I'm going to take them off, and I'll put them back on when I need to. Okay. So, spirituality versus religion. This is a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and I know a lot of people are busy with the hustle and bustle of today. A lot of people some are getting prepared for Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not. I haven't watched NFL all season, and kudos to Colin Kaepernick for that. But when I believe in something, I stand behind it. I follow in the action of the way that needs to be put forth to manifest a response in the universe. So when Kaepernick made that stance, I stood with him in spirit, and I decided, as one who really is a lover of football, but not too much a lover of the NFL, that I could afford to take a stance by boycotting, and boycotting meaning not watching, not participating, not buying any merchandise, and just standing for justice within my spirit in that aspect. And that's what I've done throughout this whole NFL season in America. And today's the big day, and here I am doing a Soul Inspiration. So that lets you know that I'm pretty serious about what I stand for, and I try to move in excellence in regards to the stance that I take. So that's my soapbox for today in regards to that. But today's topic is spirituality versus religion. And I want to ask you some questions. I want you to ponder upon some things today. I know a lot of us have a faith-based foundation. Some of us are Christian, some of us are Muslim, some of us are Hebrew Israelites, Hindus, Buddhists, whatever your religion or choice of spiritual practice may be for yourself. As a person, I am open to all religions. I don't necessarily believe in religions, but I'm open to the premise on which they are founded. I have not always been a person who didn't necessarily believe in religion. I've come into my own self, my true self and my true being, and I'm thankful unto the Creator for guiding me. I'm thankful unto the universe for allowing me to have a true path of knowing myself. And I know you're wondering why I say the things that I say, why I speak the way that I speak. My foundation did start somewhere, and it started within my home years ago as a child. My mother instilled the importance of faith and belief in the Creator, the Almighty. And under those premises, some of us in America, we study the Christian faith, Christianity, whether it be through Methodist, Baptist, Catholicism, Presbyterian, with all those different denominations, still within one faith. And a lot of times Christianity is looked upon as the way, the only way. As a child growing up, I always questioned that. Why was Christianity the only way? And I questioned that a lot because in my being and in my spirit, always felt that there was more. There was more than what they told us. There was more than what we were taught. There was more than what we were preached. There was more than what was in the Bible and what we read. And as I got older and I began to do my own research and I began to pray and ask God to lead me to truth. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is in Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah. Actually, two of my favorite scriptures are in the book of Jeremiah. And it speaks about knowing God for yourself. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. If you know God and you seek God, then God will give you greater knowledge and show you everything that you need to know. So that's what I began to do as a young adult, growing into adulthood. I was finding my way and I was finding myself. And I began to seek God greater than what I was taught, than what was shown to me, than what was in the Bible. So my path of life looks a lot different than most people who were around me, because I allowed myself to drift in the way that my spirit and my soul led me. So back to this thing with religion and spirituality. I want you to look at my hand. Matter of fact, let me hold my hand up this way. This is my hand. In the palm of my hand, I want you to look at that as being God. And each finger and the thumb, I want you to look at that, not necessarily the number of my limbs, but I want you to think of that as religion. That's the way I see religion and God. God is the center, and religion has become these limbs and branches attached to the center. But you see, they all lead to the palm. All religions lead to the palm. Meaning, in my opinion, in my belief, that it doesn't matter your preference of faith, spiritual practice, or belief. It all leads to one God. And many people have been criticized, ostracized, and demoralized because of their chosen faith of beliefs, whether they are Muslims, Hindus, scientists, I don't know, all these different religions they have now. There's so many. They're so vast. But the bottom line is believing, Scientology, that's what I was trying to say. Even in Scientology, it still leads back to God. And with all these different religions of faith, there is one commonality. And that commonality is God. That commonality is having a greater source of life and creation beyond who we are. Because we are not able to create ourselves. Therefore, something had to create us. My God that I believe in is a God of spirit, a God of energy, a God of reflection of human nature, of human kind. In life, there's female and there's male. God is a representation of both, the masculine and the feminine energy. And in all of us, we are made and created in God's image, and we all reflect those energies of God within us. Those are my beliefs. Spirituality versus religion. Have you ever wondered if you are a person of color, like myself, or of African descent, before your ancestors came to America? Whether they were in the islands, whether they were actually on the continents of Africa, wherever they came from, South America, wherever they came from into this land, most people came into this land by way of slave trade on ships. But before we got to this land, our ancestors, we had our own language. We had our own ways of relating to nature and the Creator. We had our own ideas, set beliefs, how to connect with the universe and how to pray and how to communicate with God. So my question to you is, what were those ways? What was our language? How did we communicate with God? How did we worship God? No one really knows but our ancestors. And if we dig deep enough and we pray hard enough and we connect with the depths of the universe enough, we can hear them. They'll speak to us, whether it's audible, whether it's in the air, whether it's through other people. Somewhere along the line, you'll be led to the truth to see for yourself. There is a difference between spirituality and religion. Religion is a lot of rituals, traditional practices, following a book. And it's not to put Christianity down, because I was once a part of it for a very long time. But a lot of Christians are demeaning to what Christ was really all about. And I know they took on the name of Christians to be described as being Christ-like. But there are a lot of things that Christians do say and reflect in their lifestyle that the Messiah, Yeshua, would not be pleased with, especially this day and age. And even his own practices didn't look much like the practices of this day. There are a lot of things within the word that says, equates to the equivalent of studying to show thyself approved. You got to read your word and seek knowledge for yourself. You can't just go to church every Sunday morning or whenever you go, Saturday, Sunday, and hear the word from the messenger and don't have a relationship with God for yourself. If you do that, you will be lost. Because everybody who says, Lord, Lord, the Lord even tells you, everybody that says, Lord, Lord, is not going to enter into the kingdom of the Most High. And everybody that professes to know God may not truly know God. There's a lot of wolves in sheep clothing. Those that are pretending, knowingly pretending to be on your side when they're really not. You have to know for yourself who your God is and have a relationship with God. And God may lead you to do some strange things. Things that are uncommon to man. It will look foolish in man's eyes for you to do the things that God would ask of you to do. But I am a true believer by faith in the Most High, Yahweh. And I will do as I'm asked. Most of the time I do. I try to do it as much as possible because I don't like to see what will come if I don't follow instructions. So I guess you say today's Soulspiration is deep. Why is Queen Kenya on this topic of spirituality versus religion? My dear friends, it's because it's so important. In this day and age, in this time, in this season, this year, 2018, I keep telling y'all, it's the year of alignment. It's the year for us to get on board and be on one accord with our Creator. Anything and everything that you could ever possibly think of or dream of that you would like to succeed in, to achieve, to manifest in this world that we are now living in this year, if no other year of your life, it is possible in this year. The universe has been aligned and set in course. Things have been strategically designed in divine order to manifest what you want in this earth realm, in this year, in this season. But it's not going to happen if you're not on one accord with the Most High. And if it does happen, then believe me, there's some traps set behind it happening if you're not getting it from on high, from the divine. Today's assignment for me was to read the book of Ecclesiastes in the Holy Bible. I read different books. That's why when I reference certain books, I'll say the Holy Bible or the Quran or the Torah or whatever it is that I am to read. Because I read more than just one book. Why? Because reading is fundamental. And you can learn a lot if you just open yourself up to reading. Always be guided by the Spirit of the Most High. Always open yourself up and embrace the Holy Spirit when you are moving forward and you're learning and educating yourself. Let me see what's going on here. Hello, good people. I thank you for joining me. I don't really see who's on until I put my glasses on, you know. My sight is not all that well when my glasses are not on, even though I can't see the small print. But I just want to thank everyone for joining me today. Hello, Joy. Hello, Aman. Hello, my dearest Isaiah. I just want to thank you guys for joining in. For those who will watch later, I'm just talking about spirituality and versus religion. I'm going to take these back off again. I'm not going to be long today, as I've said. I do these soulspirations as I'm led, as I am guided by the Most High, just to share what I've been given in my spirit to share on this platform that I've been given to share. And I just want to inspire us to be reminded about true spirituality and knowing the difference between spirituality and religion. It's okay if you go to a church, if that's your choice and that's your path, that's your journey. No one can keep you from it. But do educate yourself. Do know the Lord for yourself. Do have a relationship with God for yourself. So even in the midst of your knowing and your growing and being associated with communities and churches, that you still have your greatest foundation, which is God. Because there are a lot of people out here that are pretending, like I said earlier, they're pretending to know God. And they're counting on you not to know God as much as you should. And they're taking advantage of those people and leading them astray. The Bible talks about them, false prophets, and names many other names about those people. I've experienced many things in my life, in my time of living, and I'm grateful for it. I've experienced the ravens. I've experienced the wolves. I've experienced warlocks and priestess in high places of wickedness. I've experienced it. But I've also been able to experience, thanks be to the Most High God, the other side. There is darkness, and where there is darkness, there will always be light. And where there is light, there will always be darkness. You can't have one without the other. So if you have evil witches and warlocks and priestess and priest, then you have good priest and priestess and witches and warlocks. So this is where we get it all twisted. A lot of us like to think that as soon as you hear the word witch, evil. Every witch is not evil. It's the connotation of the label and the name that we as people have given others who have gifts. People who have gifts, who are clairvoyant, who are empath, and when I say clairvoyant, that means seeing. They're seers. They have psychic abilities. This is real, guys. People watch TV and think that this stuff only exists on TV. Art is an imitation of life. Where do you think they get these ideas from? Creation and imagination comes from God. So, if you can have the idea to create, then you can be incited from the Most High. It's innately in us, the gift of creation. It's innately in us. And so, to be able to make movies about people with powers and sixth senses and gifts of things of that nature, it's only a representation of what actually happens in this life or in different realms of this life. If my soul inspiration today is going over your head, it's okay. Get what you can get and be fed. But I'm speaking what I'm supposed to speak. And I won't get off course. Again, I thank everyone for joining me. I thank you for being a part of this soul inspiration. Today's topic is spirituality versus religion. So back to what I was saying. Witches, warlocks, priestess, priest, good, evil, light, dark. There's a side to everything. And the deeper you go in your relationship with the Most High, the further you go, the further you grow. You learn the truth. I reflect back for what I said a little while ago about thinking upon if you're colored like me or of the same ethnicity of me. Think about your ancestors. If you're African, think about your ancestors. How did they relate to God? How did they pray? How did they worship? How did nature coincide with our worship? We have to get back to our roots. We have to get off the course of just listening to what people tell us to do or what they've told us our faith is or what our faith should look like, what our journey should look like. God is not in a box. So we should stop keeping God in a box. God does not conform to the ways of this world, and we have been told for us not to conform either. If we serve a creator that is all powerful and all being, then why aren't we all powerful and all being? Who says we aren't? Who told you you were not? God is within. A lot of people just like to think about God as being this big person in the sky. And God is within. God is within us. We are God. We are God's hands. We are God's feet. We are God's mouthpiece. We are God. Yet we should reverence God and worship God as superior, because the only way I say we are God is because God is within us and God lives within us as we accept and embrace God. But we are not God as to be, as we are the creator. But we are God in the sense of we are gods because God created us to be. I don't want to get too deep. But understand that we are deities. therefore we are God's. Yet God is the greatest of all, because God created. Not only did God create us and give us life, but God gave women the ability to be a part of the creation of life and bring forth life. We are gods and goddesses. Yes, we are. I hope you've enjoyed this inspiration for today. Just a little inspiration to get your mind going and thinking about spirituality versus religion. What is it to you? What does it look like? The spiritual practices and rituals, is it evil or bad for someone to light candles and pray and sprinkle salt and do things of that nature, or use tarot cards or pray, and is it evil? I'll tell you what I found out. No practice of anything is evil. My own beliefs, what I found out with my own knowledge. It's the intent that goes behind what you do that makes it good or bad. So if you sprinkle water or salt, pray over crystals, whatever you do, and your intention is evil, your motives are bad, then that's what makes it evil. If it's just for selfish gain and not for humanity to be edified and for God to be glorified, then that makes it evil. But if you are learning and growing and being led by the Holy Spirit to speak truth, to share truth, and to follow instructions and do certain things that normally you wouldn't do, like anointing your house with olive oil, or cleansing your house with sage, and praying and lighting candles over the prayers. There's nothing wrong with that. I do it because the Most High leads me to do it for my own good, for the protection of my family, and for the course of my spirituality. So, spirituality versus religion looks a lot different for a lot of people. Some people's spirituality is going to church every Sunday morning. I salute you on your journey, but I will encourage you to know the Lord for yourself. Know the Most High for yourself. And when I say know, I mean know. Just like the word says in the New Testament, when someone would speak of a man knowing a woman, when you know someone, you know them intimately. So know God for yourself. Don't just go to church every Sunday morning or Saturday and hear the word from the messenger and just hear it and let it go in one ear and out the other and have no recollection of what they're actually talking about. Know the word for yourself. Sit in the quiet. Meditate. Pray. Sit in the quiet and talk to God for yourself. You don't have to do what you see everybody else doing all the time. I love you too, Vaughn. I love you too. I thank you all. I thank you all for joining in whenever you join in. And I just want to encourage everybody on their journey, because this is my journey. The truth about it is, when you're called to do what you're called to do, and everybody is called, the minute you were knitted in your mother's womb, you were called. Your soul was called forth and driven into a vessel of flesh. And the moment your mother gave birth to you and you came out breathing, your soul answered the call of life. And so you begin as a child, an infant, growing, experiencing life, until you can get to a place of remembering your true self along your journey. That's where I am now, guys. I'm remembering who I truly am. This is my life. This is what I was called to be. Whether I'm rich, whether I'm poor, this is what I'm called to do. To speak truth, to love unconditionally, to heal my soul within myself through my journey and my life experiences. But I'm not doing this alone. I have the strength of the Most High with me daily. The Creator has never turned its back on me. My God is my mother and my father. My God is my peace. My God is my joy. My God is my abundance, my resource for living. A lot of us go through things, and we're not realizing that when we go through the valleys of darkness, in the trenches, those valleys and those experiences are there for a reason. They're there to teach you. They're there to grow you. They're there to push you toward truth. And that truth is the Creator. Because you're not going to find peace in no one else. You're not going to find divine love in no one else. So yeah, I am a healer. Healer of the nations. I used to call myself Sister Kenya, and I still am a sister by all means. But God elevated me and allowed me to be a queen. And I don't take that lightly. It's not about titles. Believe me, it's not. It's not about titles. But it's all about presence and your being and operating within your gifts, knowing who you are, and not being afraid to do what you have been called to do. No matter what it looks like, no matter what you look like, no matter your lifestyle, no matter your life experiences, everybody has a journey. Everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has a purpose of life. Everybody has work to do. It's whether or not you answer the call of your soul, whether or not you choose to do the work. You could live this life and do nothing with it. And when you leave, perhaps you might return again to start all over. But that's another subject that Christians don't like to talk about. See, I believe in reincarnation. But I won't go there too far. If you think about your life, I spoke on this before, but if you just think about your life, and if you really read your Bible, you'll see some experiences. You'll see some examples and some proof, even maybe, about reincarnation, about life and longevity, Methuselah, and Jesus at the Mount with Elijah and Elisha and Moses. You got to know the word for yourself. You got to have Christ consciousness for yourself. If you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. And walking it is a lot harder than talking it. So, yeah, I think that's it for today. Let me read these comments and see what we all have to say. Thank you. Thank you, Tavon. I love you so much. You mean so much to me. Truly, you are a blessing to my life. And I'm thankful for you. Let me just say this too before I go. There are going to be people along your journey, people that cross your path. Everybody comes with a lesson and a blessing. You have to get to a point in your life where you begin to discern discern the company you keep, the energy that is around you, the energy that you take in, the energy that you give out. You need to pay attention. What are you harboring within your soul being? What are you manifesting from day to day? What are you showing to the people that you encounter from day to day? Do they know you as a man or a woman of God? Do they know you as a man or a woman of faith? Or do they know you to be the grumpy old lady, the old man who always has an attitude or a nasty disposition? How do they know you? The way we carry ourselves daily speaks volumes to who we truly are. You can say anything. You can project anything. You can put pictures on Facebook and pretend to have this lavish life and everything is perfect and peachy cream. But God knows the truth. And sooner or later, you're going to come across somebody else who knows the truth too. Because people who are like me, we can see the truth a mile away. We can read you, hunty. Because that's a gift that we have. So, I'm a realist. I try to be real with myself as often as possible and with the others that are around me. I keep it 100. Truthfully. As much as I can. Because lies, they just make things nasty, and at the end of the day, you end up telling the truth some kind of way. It's going to come out. What's done in the dark is going to come out in the light, one way or the other. So know this. The truth about spirituality and religion. What's done in the dark will come out in the light. So if you are in a place of being religious without having any spirituality or having any faith, then sooner or later, I pray for you that you wake up and that you realize that having a relationship with God and being spiritual is way more important than being religious and going sitting up in somebody's church week after week after week, listening to somebody else tell you how to run your life. I'm not knocking people who go to church. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying while you go, you need to know who you are and you need to know the Lord for yourself. It's not just about singing and praising. Worship starts at home. Worship starts in your heart. Worship starts between you and God, not when you cross the threshold of a building and enter into a sanctuary. Know the Lord for yourself. Meditate, pray, and seek truth. Because there's no greater truth than the truth that is within you. There's a whole story inside of you. Everyone has one. Everyone has one. Are you willing to tell your story to the world? Are you willing to share? You could be on a train or a bus, going to work, sitting in your car, going out to eat with your friends, just doing anything. And that one person who really needs you and the gift that's on your life could be right before you. But if you haven't chosen to answer your call, if you haven't chosen to be true to yourself, if you haven't chosen, they can miss out. Do you want that on your hands? Do you want that on your conscience? I don't. That's why I do what I do. I don't care what people say about me. I know what I'm called to do. I know who I am. And I don't care how weird I look. I don't. because I'm made in the image of God and I am beautiful. And I'm not just talking about skin deep either, although I am beautiful. But I'm beautiful on the inside. My soul is beautiful. My aura is beautiful. I am because God is. Check that out. All right. I have enjoyed you guys today. Remember, today's soul inspiration is spirituality versus religion. Are you spiritual or are you religious? Only you can answer that question. Have a blessed and happy Sunday. It's Sabbath for most. Did you go to church today? You ain't got to go to church. Not every Sunday. You can stay at home and worship with God. Pray with God. Read the word with God. Sometimes it's good to steal away and be alone sometimes with the Lord by yourself. And then go back into the temple and share with the people. Then fellowship. I promise you, you begin to know the Lord for yourself. You will be given a word and a lot to share. This has been Queen Kenya with your soul inspiration for today, February 4th, 2018, signing off. Remember, this is the year of alignment. It's time for you to get on one accord with the call of your life. I have, and this is why I do what I do. Peace and blessings, y'all. Be safe. Yes, love you.